my Asura's Wrath hard difficulty video walkthrough. This is episode 9, the best laid plans, and we are currently free falling through the sky, firing Dragon Ball Z-esque arm missiles of energy at an entire armada of ships. And all you have to do here is build your burst meter, and some of the best ways to do this is just circle whichever ship does not die, and there you go, the burst will fill really quickly. Once that's been done, you're going to progress to this moment where you kind of stood on this platform trying to build burst again. Best way to build burst is to throw these missiles back with a well-timed Y. Just bear in mind the timing can sometimes kind of screw you, but it is easily the quickest way of doing this. However, you can't shoot and press Y at the same time because sometimes the input will fuck you, so just try and be careful or you'll get caught like I am getting caught right now. But it just goes to show this game is extremely lenient, even on hard, so you shouldn't have too much issue with this part of the mission. That being said, later on there is a section coming up, which is this section here, that is one of the toughest checkpoints on the game, believe it or not. The fight itself is not too difficult, this first one especially, but after this there's a couple of rooms with the pole arm guys that are quite tough, and they can kill you in like 1 or 2 hits if they hit you right. And you have to do, I think it's 3 rooms in a row without dying. And on a game that's not really taught you how to fight at this point because it's been so quick, this can sometimes catch people off guard. So when you're up against these guys with the guns, they have to be in a very specific position to hit you, so exploit that. Whenever you're in front of them you can hit it back, but the timing is really quick, and if you mess it up it's going to do a lot of damage. Once he's dead, this door will open, but through this door is going to be 2 of those guys I just mentioned. These guys. Oh, no, sorry, wrong door. This next one. So do you see them? Those 2 guys. And they will charge at you like they're doing right now. They have quite a lot of powerful attacks, and they're dangerous. Not only can they endure quite a lot of hits before you can stun lock them, but they can mess you up. So you'll notice I wait for him to rush, I lure them into this big room, because when I fought them in that tiny room I did actually get beat up and I died. So that's my dog, if anybody caught that on the microphone. He's a pain in the ass, but I'm building my unlimited with my guns so that I can run in here and spam them, because these enemies on their own are not too bad, but when you have 2 of them together they can be a little bit annoying. And like I say, I kind of got a bit paranoid fighting them because they killed me, and I don't think they've ever killed me. And that's just something that happens on games. A good example of that is when you Dark Souls PvP. Because I'm putting so much on the channel, it's the easiest frame of reference that I can use for people that relate with it. When you're fighting against somebody that you know is a decent player, you get paranoid, because you know that person knows how to do setup parries, knows the the logistics of the blind parries, of the timing windows. So feasibly they could parry you at any moment, and it makes you play a hell of a lot different than you normally would. It makes for a much more tense and interesting fight, but you're not the same fighter as you are against somebody you don't know. But through this door is another group of these guys, and just be careful with them. I mean, you might run in these rooms and just romp through all of them and have no issue whatsoever, but like I say, when I played and when I recorded, they killed me, so I decided to show them no mercy but respect them at the same time. And I think there's 3 in this room, so be extra careful in this one. But once you get rid of these guys and you get to the next one, there's only 1 room and then you'll hit a checkpoint. And checkpoints in games are funny things, and I do discuss them quite a lot, because I do think there's a difference between difficulty and bad checkpoints. A lot of game developers would disagree with me because their entire idea of difficulty is to just deny you a checkpoint. And I find that to be stupid, personally. Oh, this is a good one. This guy's going to be shooting at you from that platform. You want to be using your gun arms to shoot him. Don't manually aim, just keep jumping around with lock on and you'll build your burst meter super fast. I kind of get stuck in this corner and I end up taking damage, but there's no reason you should if you're playing a little bit better than me, because look, I go into the manual aim and then I can't get out of the way of the blast. Oh no, is it this one coming up? Yeah, there you go. I jump into the way of the blast, so just be careful. But this is, if you've done those rooms we just came through, this is not going to give you any trouble, as long as you don't get sloppy. This room here might, because there's 2 of those polearm guys, and then there's, or spear guys, whatever you want to call them, and then there's one of the fat Buddha guys. So The crazy shield things are more of a nuisance than anything else, like a deterrence. They don't really do too much, but they probably can if you let them, because a lot of the things on this game can hurt you if you give them the opportunity. It's not quite up to the standards of Vanquish, where there's actually an enemy that's a wall. It's a deployable turret that grows a head and fires a laser that on the harder difficulties it insta-kills you, which, you know, when it first happens you're like, that never happened, and then it happens again and you're like, well, this game's kind of fucking cheap when it wants to be. And then you play it on God Hard mode, which is one of the most difficult games I've ever played, because that game is, I don't know, you've got to be super on the ball to not die, and everything nearly insta-kills you. And a lot of people have wondered why I don't put any Vanquish content up, and it's not because I don't like the game. I love the game, I would have loved to do it. I even started recording a God Hard difficulty guide. The only problem is, a subscriber of mine showed me a video, and on the video it had been taken down, and somebody else's guide that they were putting up on YouTube ended up getting pulled off of YouTube because of copyright reasons. And when you do search YouTube, you can find some videos, but the majority of them give you copyright strikes, so I don't want to risk it, and that's the reason I've never put it up. But that being said, I don't even know if I could beat that game on God Hard mode, because I was struggling on like the second level. It was really hard. And that's one of those games that you can't go back to it after quite a long time and think that you're going to be any kind of decent, because the game is just going to kick your ass. You need to have played it recently, you need to get back into the swing of things. So what I actually started doing is I was going through hard mode, and I was going through the game trying to use as little cover as possible, because I've obviously already beaten hard, but I wanted to get used to, you know, being out in the open, dodging, getting used to going into that death mode and surviving it and not panicking, to try and, you know, kind of harden my gameplay type deal. And I will get back to Vanquish at some time, because I need to finish the challenge stuff, the infamous double bogey fight. But this is Asura's Wrath, and some of these bits can actually kill you, so I should probably talk about this. This elevator platform is only difficult if you get unlucky. The reason I say that is there's a fat guy that's about to turn up. He's another one of the Buddha statues, and he likes to do the belly flop, the same one that Hawkeye does. And this is just one of those areas where, you know, every so often you might get poked, you might get hit, because there is a lot of enemies, and the standard combat on this game is not that great. And I was a little bit disappointed with that aspect of this game, if I'm honest, because when I saw this in development, I was so excited for this game, because I thought it was going to be like Devil May Cry. I thought there was going to be a lot of levels where you ran around on foot and explored and platformed and, you know, beat up rooms of enemies and go room to room solving puzzles and stuff, but this is a very different game to that kind of game. There is still nuance to the combat, there is still interesting bosses, and it is technically still an action game, like a third-person action game, but it's nowhere near as, you know, detailed or as good as those, effectively, because this is a glorified cutscene with some gameplay, and that is not a bad thing, because I think it does it fantastically well. But did I want more gameplay? Did I want gameplay that had several difficulties, and by the end of it I could learn to be completely untouchable? Yes, I did. I definitely did. But it's by no means a bad game, and I did enjoy it, and I still do enjoy it. I just think the ranking system is redundant. A lot of the combat is extremely simple and relies too much on counters, which are unpredictable, and you can't 100% provoke them, which I don't like. But still, I think everybody should play this game. I think if you see it in a bargain bin for cheap, you should pick it up. I think you should rent it, if anything, because you'll get everything you need from it with one rental. And I do not regret buying it, because I had so much fun on my first playthrough. My first playthrough of this game reminded me of the first time I watched an anime that blew me away. You just sit there thinking, that was such a good experience, but it's not the same the second time through. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.